Good morning everyone. Just for fun, I thought I'd start today's video up here on the roof. As you can see, we've got scaffolding up at the moment, and obviously quite a lot has happened in the last 2 months since I last posted a video. So I'm going to try and have a really good walk around today, show you everything that's been done and explain what's been going on. Unfortunately, for a few reasons, I've not really been able to film very much the last couple of months. It's mostly been contractors working here. Some of them have wanted to be filmed and some haven't. Others have just wanted to listen to incredibly loud music the whole time they were here. So overall, I'm afraid it hasn't really been possible to film everything that's been going on. But I'll try and show as much as I can that's been done today. And with any luck, now that those contractors have gone, I'll be able to get back into it soon. So starting up here on the roof, the biggest job or most interesting job that's been done up here on the roof is this guttering. Now Dave and I did this. It's aluminium extruded guttering with a black powder coating. So it's designed to look like original cast iron guttering, but it's actually aluminium. And we installed this all the way around the house. So it's one continuous run that goes all the way around all 4 sides of the house. And then in the corners, one in each corner, we've got these downpipes, which again are in a cast iron style. And just before those went up, Emma was up here with a paintbrush and some sandpaper, completely renewing these fascias all the way around. So these lovely scalloped edged fascias that go along behind the guttering, those have all been sanded down and repainted and restored as best we can. So just yesterday we got the last of the downpipes in. This is something that I would have liked to have filmed, and I've got a couple of clips of it, but it wasn't really very easy to get a good angle or because of good continuous shot of getting this guttering up. But we're very happy with the results anyway. The other big job up here on the roof has been to do with the slate tiles. So I've had a roofer up here working for a few days, and he has dealt with all of the loose slates. So any slates that were sort of just loose or had already slipped off or broken, he's gone around and he's replaced them all with new matching slates. And the other thing he's done is, you'll see there are these vents up here in the roof. Some of these vents, you can see to the bottom left here, were here already, and they provide ventilation into the attic space. But these sort of longer vents, these are new, and these are ventilation for the sewage pipes. So where the waste pipes go now inside the house up to the roof, they come out of those slate vents, so they're completely hidden away. So there are no pipes sticking up out of the top of the roof. Everything just terminates into those little black vents. And there are a few of those around the roof. There are 2 for waste pipes, but then there are also some additional ones for the extractor fans to take condensation out of the bathrooms and kitchen and things like that. So you can't really see them from the ground, but there are a few of these black plastic vents around the roof. Also, right up at the very top, we've had all of the chimney pots rebuilt and new caps put onto them. 2 of those chimneys are now lined and ready to use. We'll see a bit more of that downstairs. And then the others just have a cap over them to stop birds and water getting in. And then of course, one very obvious thing is that the majority of the windows have now been replaced. So here's one of the dormer windows that's been redone. We'll see a lot more of these windows downstairs. These are quite a boring style of window up here, right at the top, but all of the other windows in the house are sash windows. So we'll get onto those in a moment.
Right, do you want to jump out and I'll pass it out? What we like on the sides? Do you want to go over or not?
Before I head inside, let's have a look at a few things that have been going on outside. I mentioned already the guttering, but there's one more bit of guttering down here, just at the entrance to the annex. And this was a bit of a hassle with this downpipe. I've had to send this to a few angles and then branch it onto the downpipe of the main house, but that worked out quite nicely in the end. And at the bottom of these downpipes, they go to a variety of different places. This one actually goes into the sewage pipe, so this joins onto the end of the waste pipe. Most of the others don't do that. And then, perhaps far more excitingly, down here, we've got new windows. So there's a small window here, this is the utility room, and then heading to the middle of the house, we've got these gorgeous, huge new sash windows. Now, as I mentioned before, these are UPVC, so plastic windows, but they've got a bit of a wood grain effect to them, and they're designed to look like wood joints as well. So I think they look absolutely fine, and I'm very, very happy that I went with plastic rather than wood, just for the maintenance. So I'm not quite sure how many of those windows there are in all around the house, but that was quite a big job for the window installers. They've still got a little bit more work to do, and we'll see when we get around the back what's still to be done. Now, here on this side of the house, Dave and I were here yesterday digging this trench, and basically where the internet company came and put the fibre optic cable in, it ended up going in rather shallow. So what we've decided to do is to dig a new trench. This is about, well, it's about a foot deep at one end and about 9 inches deep at the other end. I know it doesn't look very good on video, but that's how deep it is. And the idea is we're going to put two conduits, sort of two empty pipes through into the house. One of them will carry a water pipe, so we're going to dig a water pipe across the lawn and put an outside tap, sort of halfway between the house and the garage, just on a pedestal in the lawn, so we'll have some outside water. And then the other pipe will be used for the internet cable, which will move into that to make it a bit deeper and less susceptible to being accidentally dug up. So this is an interesting one. This downpipe comes down and it goes through a 90-degree angle, and then it comes across underneath the patio, and it just dumps the water out onto the lawn. And that was all damaged and cracked, and it was basically just dumping the water into the foundations of the house. So we've put a new pipe in under the patio across here, and we'll just cut that off neatly so that it Still dumps water onto the lawn, but it'll be much better than sending it down into the house itself. And then across here, these are still the original patio windows. As soon as the scaffolding is down, which will hopefully be happening next week, the window installers will be back to install the new large patio windows here. Jumping straight inside, let's just go room by room and I will try to remember everything that's being done and go through it. So first of all, the library, which is the first room you get to really when you come into the house. The most striking thing in here, I think, is this chimney liner. So there are two rooms that have got these chimney liners, and we're going to put a small log burning stove in here, into this gap. And that will have a new hearth under it. And it'll be quite discreet, which I mean there's not going to be a big fancy surround on it. It's just going to be quite a small, discreet stove there. And then also in here, I mentioned that the electricians have been busy. So here we've got the electric cables coming up to a socket in the corner. And we've put a few of those in every room. So if you're around, you find electric sockets around the room. And this one also has a network socket. So each room I've tried to put at least one network socket somewhere in the room, just in case it's needed for anything. We're going to have lots of Wi-Fi in this house, of course, but I've put some network sockets just in case. And then in all the other rooms, much the same sort of work has been done. We've got sockets in the walls, which is a lovely departure from the way that this house was wired before, where all the cable was just on the surface of the walls. And we've got pipes coming up for the radiators. And in this room, we're going to be having wall lights flanking the window here. So there's going to be a high level wall light on each side. I won't bore you with the details of every socket location, but again in here we've got the a network socket in one corner along with the power. The other rooms are very much the same. This is the main living room. And again there's a liner being put in the chimney here ready for a wood burning stove. This one hopefully is going to be a bit more grand with a false chimney breast and a fire surround, so that should look a bit more like this room deserves, I think. And again, lots and lots of electrical work and electrical decisions. Like this corner where I'm planning to put a TV, there's going to be more sockets, more internet connection there. But other than that, I wouldn't say the house has changed dramatically from what was seen in my last videos. Out in the hallway, the changes to the staircase are now finished. So the missing part of the railing has now been remade. Missing spindle has been put in and this missing step has been installed. The carpenter's done a fantastic job of all of that and really blends it in with the original parts, so that's lovely. So this is the downstairs toilet. The carpenter's put a new windowsill in here. So a lot of these windowsills are either in really poor condition or, in the case of this one for example, where this room was previously divided in half, the windowsill had been cut in half as well. So the carpenter's replaced that with a brand new one, which is now obviously one piece rather than two. Oh, and from inside we can see a bit more of the detail of these windows. So they replicate the detail of the original sash windows as much as possible. Although of course the original sash windows that were in the house when it was built were long gone by the time I bought it. So we've just had to try our best to try to guess what would look right. So upstairs now, we're at the end of the house with the guest suite. And I'm still super excited about this guest suite. So nothing's really changed up here. It's had a very good clean, I'll say. Thanks very much to my parents, as always. They've given this room an incredibly, well, this whole house, an incredibly good clean, ready to move on to the next phase. One interesting thing up in here in this guest bedroom is you can see here that some joists have been replaced. This was actually a brick hearth here before, and while the electricians were working, those bricks started to become unstable and a couple fell down. So we decided just to take that hearth out completely and fill it in with joists instead, for safety really. And so this guest suite then has this opening through to the guest bathroom. And we've got cabling in now ready for downlights in the ceiling. So we're going with downlights in rooms like the bathrooms, the utility room, the kitchen. And whereas in the other rooms, we're going for more sort of ambient light, just pendant lights and wall lights instead. What we're doing today is putting this new ducting down underground into the house, this side. So if I just look slightly across to the left, you'll see that there is an underground duct, and I use the word underground lightly because it's barely buried at all. It's barely even below the level of the lawn. And that's where the fibre optic cable goes. But I wasn't very happy with that. And I also want to run a new water pipe out in order to put an outside tap somewhere down this side of the house, off towards the garage. And so what we're doing today is we've already dug a trench. We did that last weekend. But today we're going to drill through into the house, and we're going to put some of these black ducts through. I wasn't quite sure what size we need. I've got two different sizes here, but basically one will take the fibre optic cable, and one will take a new water pipe. Holes in the ground never come out very well on video, but I'll try and get the camera right down in here. See if you can see it any better. It's about a foot deep, and it sort of continues down with the brick or stone wall under the ground, and the bottom of there is where we're going to go through into the house. Dave will be here soon, I hope, and he's bringing some core drills, which are sort of large hole cutting drill bits ready to make those holes into the house. Meanwhile, inside the house, we're getting ready to put some new floorboards down. But before the boards go down, there are two things we have to do. One is to insulate in between these floor joists. And the other is that we need to spray all the wood to protect it from rot and from woodworm infestations. And unfortunately, the only person that can fit between these joists to get down there to spray is my mum. So I've had to send her down there. Emma is also here today. Not quite sure where she's disappeared to, but she's here somewhere. And she wanted to get on and do something with this double vanity unit. It's got a nice stone marble top. And then this unit, which is made of painted plywood. It's in pretty good condition. There's a couple of knocks and scrapes, and Emma wants to repaint this. So I think today she's going to give the whole thing a light sanding, and then she's going to choose a new colour and get it painted. Really, the only problem with it is that someone's taken a notch out of this side, which we'll need to cut a new piece of plywood, and hopefully we can fill that in. First of all, we're going to put a pilot hole through, and then one of these. And that should be a decent size to then get the ducting through.
Down, we'll just check to see where we are.
If you think you can, I don't know how to measure it really, but sure.
If we measure off the windowsill out and down.
Okay.
Before we get too far.
Is it worth sending the small drill bit now through a couple of times?
Yeah, I'm gonna.
I'll head back to see Dave now. I think he's onto the core drill now, which is slowly working its way through the wall.
Not like it.
This marble off.
I saw, yeah.
It had like a sticky residue on here. Using that spray I got, and it's not like new. Because I was worried that some of that sticky residue might be really stubborn. Or
yeah, well, it's real.
And, like,
it's a real slab of stone,
like,
so it should clean up quite well.
Baked on lime scale,
yep.
But it's not. It's come up like new. It's completely
fantastic.
Obviously, the sinks I'm going to clean when it's in situ, and I can sluice the water away, and it's all hooked up, I think, and stuff. And obviously this will need another clean at some point, but that baked on like sticky residue is all gone. It's come up lovely with that spray.
So this hasn't been a fantastic success. Trying to get that core drill bit through, we've managed to burn out 2 drills. I think they're on their last legs anyway. So I have been sent into town to buy a new drill. While I was there, Dave has quickly done a little bit of tarmacking for me. So this new downpipe, I'll talk a bit more about that in a while, now goes into some tarmac on the ground. Hopefully that'll blend in with the tarmac around it in time. And I've picked up a new drill along with some new drill bits as well. So you've got a new core drill bit here, which hopefully will go through the wall a bit easier.
Not big enough, Charlie. We need a bigger one.
We also got this rather large masonry bit to help the hole along the way. Oh, so it's a decent way through already.
Yeah.
Get him through there. The good news is the new parts, the new drill bits worked. We've got one hole now all the way through, and we've got the larger pipe in, larger duct in, which will be for the water. We're now drilling a second hole, which we hope is not going to take quite so long, which will be for a smaller duct for the fibre optic cable. So Dave is drilling away, hopefully he can get through. We've drilled a pilot hole for the second hole. And how far is it? Oh, we've got some material coming out. Bit hot.
Feels hot.
I'll come away from the noise for a second. And yeah, that's it. We're now working our way through with the core drill bit. So we've got one hole which is about 50mm, which is going to take a 40mm duct. And then we've got a second hole which is 40mm, which is going to take so 35mm duct. And then once those are both through, hopefully we can then fill in and put the cables in later. So I'm just waiting for Dave to finish drilling. Not much I can do in the meantime, but hopefully we're nearly there. It's unbelievably hot here in England at the moment. If you're not from England, you might not know, but we don't really do heat here. So when it gets up to about 30 degrees like this, we just all melt. So it's not great working outside today, but I am at least going to get a suntan for the first time in my life. We finally did it. I'm not sure what time it is now, but I reckon it's taken us about 5 hours to drill 2 holes today. But we've done it, and we've got these 2 ducts in now. Nice and deep underground, and then all the way into the house. So all we need to do now is to dig out this trench so that it's a little bit more even and deep all the way along, and then we can fill it all in. This spray bottle, which I think is designed for spraying weed killer or fertilizer and stuff for the garden, it's done 2 duties today. It's been great for spraying the wood preservative onto all of the timbers. Thanks to my mum for doing that under the floor. But also, after that was finished, we refilled it with water, and we were able to use it to lubricate the drill bits as they were going down through the wall. So that was quite useful to have for that purpose. Oh, little hole.
Little hole.
Fibre goes in the little hole. Is it fully unkinked and uncoiled?
Oh, it's okay, wrap with the key. Do you want to go inside and root it, or?
I'll just pull it through the house for now. Shall I go and pull it through from the other room?
You tug it off the other end, and let's make that a bit. How many cords? Are you going to fibres?
24 cords, will that be enough?
Yeah.
For now?
Just making that a bit sweeter.
Tell me when.
Okay, right.
Hooray, fibre! So that's it for the fibre. This is the downstairs toilet, which I'll just re-explain. One corner of it is going to be boxed in to form a big cupboard, and that's going to have the water cylinder in it that stores the hot water. But it's also going to have the internet wiring covered, so the sort of patch panel and switches and things in a cabinet up at the top. And so into the bottom of that corner of that cupboard, I brought the fibre optic cable. And for now, that's just coiled up down here. I'll get the internet company to come back at some point to cut that to length and hopefully terminate it into a socket for me. It's the end of the day. We've got the duct in, we've got the fibre cable routed, and Dave's gone home.